everybody, and welcome to the Pat Jones Show. I'm Robbie Robertson, along with Oklahoma State head coach Pat Jones. After an open date on September 12th, the Cowboys went this past weekend to Ann Arbor, Michigan, to take on the 6th-ranked Michigan Wolverines. Michigan won the game 35-3, and Pat, for 3 quarters, pretty good defensive effort, and you ran into a quarterback who had a record-setting day for Michigan.
Well, I think a couple things, Robbie. I think in spots and at certain times during the ball game, I think we played fairly well in certain phases. It was too hit and miss to go up there into that setting and beat that kind of football team. I think Michigan has got a good football team. They had some injuries, and I think they adapted well to that. I think we were a little bit intimidated offensively. I think we were kind of our own worst enemy in that regard. But at times, really in all phases, in different spots, I think we played well enough to give ourselves a chance.
All right, let's take a look at the first half highlights. It was a beautiful day for football in Ann Arbor, and the largest crowd ever to watch Oklahoma State play, more than 104,000 at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Now, we had the first possession, punted it away. This is Michigan's first possession.
Well, again, like I say, you can see Carlos Irving there making a play. We did some things, again, from defensive standpoint. We were stunting around here a little bit, and Irving ran underneath the block, and Ainsley gets outside, and we got him stopped. And here again, here's Michael Woolridge and Ainsley and Irving and some of those guys doing some of this. We had enough of this kind of stuff going on to really encourage it. I think at the half they only had like 45 or 46 yards rushing. Had a hard time really sustaining the running game against us. Again, they did some things throwing the ball that is a little bit scary. They got Dolph down in there and missed the field goal.
Now here's our first possession, a big 3rd and 7 play.
Well, here again, here's Andy going back, Loveland, scrambling. We had a hard time protecting against him. This is a pretty nice job of running for the first down. He made a first down here. They've got a good defensive unit. This is, again, 9 returning starters, I think, off a Rose Bowl team. And you can see we're getting kind of whipped there in one area. But Andy had enough presence to get out here and scramble for a first down, which he made it. Okay, now Michigan has got the ball back here. You can see there's Keith Burns, 44. Burns continues to improve. I'm really pleased with him. I think, again, he and Carlos Irving particularly really tend to show up quite a bit. They're trying to hammer the ball in there with the big back. And, again, it looked like me standing over there on the sidelines. And, again, Burns continued to stand out. Okay, okay, we're going to see a replay of this. We got some pressure here in times. We were playing some kind of soft coverages. They ran by us a couple of times. We were scared of this. Todd Fisher, one of the corners, turned his ankle a little bit, and we had to take him out, and then we put him back in the ball game. But by and large, we were playing pretty good defensively.
Now we go to the second quarter now. Michigan leading 14-0, and Collins on the roll here.
Well, you can see they were doing some movement stuff, and we've got some pressure on him, and he comes out here, and we've got things pretty well covered there, and he would have had to make a great throw and catch. I think their skill players are really good. Their wide receivers probably a little bit better than we realize. This is a fumble right here. Keith Burns, 44, is going to cause this fumble. I believe Cornell Cannon, number 11, makes a recovery.
That's right.
Burns is going to come over here and take a shot at him right there. There goes the ball on the ground. Cannon, there he goes, number 11. Okay, here we go again.
You'll be able to see it real well.
Yeah, this is really a good-looking play by Burns. Okay, boom, right there, head on the ball. There goes the football, and Cannon gets it.
Now we get intercepted on our possession, and then we're forced to punt, and Michigan gets it again with about 5.5 minutes to go here.
After that turnover there, we tried to throw a toss-back pass and got it intercepted. Had one guy running clean and couldn't hit him. But again, defensively, we went out there, and there's Elmer Williams. We had fairly decent pressure around Michigan. At times, we didn't sack him that much. Okay, here's Scotty Harmon's interception. A nice little run back here. I thought, particularly in the first half, I was concerned that we were wearing down a little bit defensively, although it was a fairly cool afternoon, and I think our emotions kind of built up a little bit defensively because we were having some success, again, against I think a pretty good football team. There was a little bit of pressure from Woolridge. We had Ainsley had to throw the ball in a hole and couldn't do it and overthrew it a little bit. And here's Scotty Harmon with the interception return. Again, Harmon continues to play well. So we get the ball again. This is late in the half.
Right. This is our last possession. Of the half.
The running game again. We'd make 5 yards. We'd make 7 yards. In a lot of times, or sometimes we would get a penalty. All right. Here's Porter. We've inserted Porter into the ball game here. Again, this kind of stuff. He looks like he's got a chance to do. We've got to simmer him down in certain areas. But okay, here he comes out here on a sprint out. Oh, this is a nice throw and catch. Okay, Burt Milner got a first down. Thought we might be able to get down in there and perhaps kick a field goal right before half. We got in our 2 minute down in here. You can see he's getting pressured pretty good, but he runs away from it. He gets out here and runs out of bounds. Again, if we could hit about one more, we would have had a crack at a field goal right before the half. But again, now it's 14-0 Michigan. We're playing pretty good defensively.
I was surprised that Michigan threw the ball as much as they did in the first half.
Well,
weren't they kind of geared to stop the run?
Well, no, I wasn't. I mean, even though they had the backup quarterback, he's been around, and they were letting him do some pretty easy stuff. They had fairly good field position. They were playing well defensively. I mean, I think they did smart things in that regard with both their offense and their defense. No, it really didn't surprise me they were throwing the ball that much.
All right, it's 14-0 at halftime. The Pat Jones Show will continue with second half highlights. You stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Oklahoma State trailing Michigan 14-0 at halftime. Michigan's going to get the ball here to start the second half, and Coach Special Teams came down and major collision here about 13-yard line.
Well, this is Keith Burns, I think, right there. There was about 3 or 4 of them that hit him. Again, I thought we were in a great frame of mind coming out at the start of the second half, particularly defensive. Again, offensively, we had done some things, although we had too many penalties and too much of that kind of stuff to have any consistency. You can see they run. This is Richie Ainsley's. I could see this from the sideline, and they run the ball up in there. Again, we're getting after people pretty good in the interior. It's a pretty good collision right there with Ainsley, and you can see he just takes the ball away from him. I thought it was a good call, and we've got the ball down on their end of the field again now. Early in the second half, here's Porter. It's 3rd and 8, coming back. Throws this. We were just short. I think it was 4th and a long one right in here. Here's a repeat of it. Throw the ball to Derek Jones, and we just barely missed the first down. Had thought about going for it, but again, it 14-0. You're still very, very much in the ball game. I was trying to kind of get the pulse of our offensive unit, and looked out there, and Porter kind of acted like he wanted us to kick it. Lawson Vaughn comes in the ball game, the freshman kicker from Edmond, and hit it clean and right down the heart. Now it's 14-3. They have driven back down the field. Again, they run the ball right here. Okay, this is an interesting play here. Yeah, all I could see was the other official signaling touchdown. Now, and you can see the way our guys are reacting, and he came and told me, he said, Coach, I just couldn't see it, and the other guys came and got it straightened out. You can see Ainsley right here.
That's a good call.
Yes, sir. Rip the ball out. It bounces into the end zone. We recover, and we're going to take the ball over again on our own 20-yard line. We caused some turnovers. Now, Michigan people probably upset about them losing those, but we forced some turnovers, turned over too much ourselves. Here we come back out. We're going to see this again. Porter comes out and throws it Burt Milner, and Burt runs through a couple of tackles here. This is a nice throw and catch. You can see Burt right there, bounces off some people, gets loose down the sidelines. I thought at one point he might come out of all of this and score. They run him down. We've got the ball inside their 40-yard line. It's 14-3. Same play again. Okay, good job here. Good job, Burt, of running through that kind of stuff. You can see Shannon Culver is going to get down there and do a nice job of trying to block and get in the way. And we've got it off down in there. And so now we're making sure, trying to make sure as best we can. He's getting a lot of pressure and gets out of it. This is Porter right here. He just fired this ball out, and we somehow caught it. Again, the thing about Gary that you see is that he is strong enough to rip away from this. We turn a guy loose on him, and you can see number 7 had a clean shot at him. And Porter has got enough strength to get out and enough presence of mind just to turn and throw the ball. This is not the prettiest looking stuff in the world. It's a little bit scary from down on the sideline, but we get it caught, and we're off down in there. Okay, here he comes again. He zings this ball out here. down the sideline to Shannon Culver again. So here's a replay of it. Again, Porter kind of improvising on this stuff, has got a little bit of a knack for it, and threw it out there. Good job. See, Culver is really fighting and scratching to try to come out of this.
After a Scott Tyner punt, Michigan scored, and now we've got it 3rd and 9 on our own, or Michigan's 31.
Well, obviously they're trying to go deep. They had gotten again over the top of us one time in the first half and did it again and had it called back. And again, that was plenty scary. Todd Fisher here, I thought, had this thing played pretty well. They get hung up with the receiver. It was a good call. That crew there, that 104,000 people didn't think so. But again, now Michigan has gotten back. He's gotten down on our end of the field. Now they're going to try to throw it in here. They're trying to throw the fade. Okay, nice job, Todd. I told Todd after the ball game, he's out there on the island in front of 104,000 people and however many million are watching on television. They tried to throw fades, tried to throw slants, and he held his ground pretty good. Tyler Williams, right there, nice play. Got him stopped. Here's going to see a replay of it. Again, Tyler plays quite a bit in there at one of those ends. We had the thing played pretty well. They're going to come in here. This is where they missed the field goal, didn't it, Robbie?
Right. They missed a field goal, and then we go back on defense, about 7 minutes to go.
Well, again, right in here, I thought we got a little bit ragged. Again, we were getting worn down, I think, defensively. At least we were slashing around. Harmon hits him. The ball comes loose. We get it. Porter comes back in. Throw a little quick screen. Again, Burt Milder down the sidelines. Michigan's got a good defensive football team. I was really impressed with them the more I have reviewed this thing. I think Michigan's, again, got a good defense. They got a good football team, period. Mark Williams in at tailback. I would have liked to have played him a little bit more, but we didn't have the ball a heck. Well, I probably should have. That's my fault there. And here again, we're running a sweep with him, and he's cutting and slashing pretty good. We're still at the point where I didn't want us necessarily just to go throwing every down. I just kind of wanted to go play ball. Obviously, we got a lot of things to get better at, and I think we did, and I think we can continue to do that.
Okay, the final score was Michigan 35, Oklahoma State 3. It seems some of the things that we wanted to try to accomplish in the game, Pat, was to compete for 60 minutes and play hard, not get anybody hurt. Seems like those things were accomplished, were they not?
Well, the injury part of it, that's, I think, just fate as much as anything. Now, I don't think we really competed at a real high level. Again, our standards are very high in that regard for the full 60 minutes. There were some lags in there. I think we got to do a little bit better job. The worst thing was that I think we competed a little bit better offensively from a competitive standpoint than we did 2 weeks ago, although, again, we'd have a motion penalty here, a motion penalty there, and put ourselves in some tough positions. There was several times, which you didn't see, that Raphael Denson, tailback, was just about a step away from breaking off a pretty good run. And we obviously got to get those things correct and do a better job of that, but I thought we were more aggressive as a football team throughout than we were 2 weeks ago.
How do you think Porter handled his first period of extensive playing time?
Well, again, with Porter, we haven't really been around him enough to tell exactly how he handles everything. I mean, he's pretty hyper and very competitive. Again, I think he went out there and competed. I think he needs to get a little bit better feel for certain situations, which should come. Andy Loveland was in a kind of a tough spot. Probably should have put him back in the ball game, in all fairness to him. I mean, he's still very, very much in the picture at quarterback. I can't really rule out both of them playing, because I think they both did some pretty good things. Again, tough duty for both of them. I think both of them can very much help this football team, maybe in a couple of different areas in different ways.
All right, Coach, when we come back, we'll take a look at the play of the week, and we'll talk more about the Oklahoma State-Michigan game. You stay with us. The Pat Jones Show will be back right after this.
The play of the week is brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
The play of the week comes late in the first half. Scotty Harmon's first interception of the year.
Well, again, Harmon has always had a good knack for doing this sort of thing. He really continues to play well. I think he had it was in on 11 tackles in this interception, and recovered a fumble and caused a fumble. Here's the same play again from another angle. This was, again, this guy, people that throw down the middle on him against certain coverages, he's liable to get just about as many of them as is the other group will, because and we saw it with him last year. But he's a good little football player.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Scotty's had 11 tackles in the ball game. Always plays hard. What did you feel like? There were times during the game, Pat, that it looked like we got some pressure on the quarterback. What are some of the things that you feel like you got accomplished defensively in the ball game?
Well, again, from the upside of it, I think we slashed around a little bit better. That's the point we had tried to make for the last couple of weeks, because we thought we were a little bit passive in the first ball game in certain areas. But take shots at the ball, rip it out, put your head on it, knock it loose, that sort of things. And we did a pretty good job of that. We called several of them. Again, how much of it was Michigan, how much it was us probably is debatable. But I think we did a better job of that. I think we can continue to do a better job of it. You can't give up the deep ball. Now, again, we let them get over the top of us a couple of times, and then the corners were kind of in a tough position on some of that. But again, you can't allow that to happen. But again, I thought we played basically, up to the latter stages, played the running game pretty well. Some of the short stuff pesters you but probably won't beat you. But again, you cannot give up a big play. Offensively, it was a little bit deceiving from the standpoint, again, that we had run a ball and it'd be, as opposed to 2nd and 5, somebody's jumped and now it's come back and it's 1st and 15, and that's too tough, particularly against guys like this. We had a hard time protecting the passer when we had to get in a throw situation, which is not something that we didn't really, we thought that would happen, didn't want to believe it, but we thought it would happen. Again, now, I think we've got to get better, just the smaller things. Hey, staying on sides and some of the sheer mechanics of it, and to allow ourselves to have a chance, because we ran the ball a little bit better sometimes than I thought we had. Again, it wasn't consistent enough, but it was against a pretty good unit. We obviously got to get better in that regard.
All right. We're going to take a break here, and then we'll come back with our Cowboy Magic Moment and talk about games coming up for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The Pat Jones Show will be back right after this.
This Cowboy Magic Moment is brought to you by Johnson's of Kingfisher and Chickasha.
First down at the 25-yard line.
Network broadcaster Al Michaels called the action as Rusty Hilger threw a 25-yard touchdown pass to a determined Barry Hanna with about a minute to go to give Oklahoma State a 21-14 win over South Carolina in the 1984 Gator Bowl. The Cowboys finished the year with a record of 10-2. Hanna's catch and run was another Cowboy Magic Moment.
You can save anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 by purchasing a program car compared to a brand new vehicle. Hi, I'm John Johnson with Johnson's of Kingfisher and Chickasha.
Welcome back. And Pat, what do you remember about that 84 Gator Bowl?
I think that play we saw with Hannah's catch and run was probably the single biggest play, in my opinion, in Oklahoma State history in a high-stakes game against quality competition. That was when the network had that heart monitor on me, and it ricocheted totally out of sight on that. I don't know that I've slowed down any since then, but that does bring back very fond memories.
Okay, home on Saturday against Tulsa. It'd be nice to get home, but what about this Tulsa ball club? Well,
this is a very, very big ball game for both clubs. It's a game we need to win. It's a game they need to win. They're coming off a big year last year. They lost a tough one to Kansas. We lose a tough one to Michigan. It's a very, very big ball game for us and them both. I would expect a large crowd. People need to get there early. I think it's got all the makings of a very, very, very important football game.
Any particular thing that they do that we need to address this week?
Well, I haven't seen a lot of them at this particular point, but what little I have, they played a very good A&M team very close down there. What little I have seen of their defense, boy, they taking a few more chances this year. They can cause you some bad plays. They've got good people. Again, of course, I don't know how to go into a Tulsa ball game without facing Rubley, the quarterback. I think he started against us for 7 years. But no, I mean, we'll have to play well. I mean, to have any chance to win, we'll have to play extremely well.
All right. Any injuries that you're aware of coming out of that Michigan
No,
game?
not really. I don't think. Todd Fisher, one of the corners, had a little bit of a turned ankle. I'm sure we'll have some bumps and bruises, but I don't think for a ball game that was against that kind of competition, I think we got out of it fairly in pretty good shape.
All right. Good luck to you against Tulsa. And we urge you to get out there to the stadium Saturday night as Oklahoma State will be home to take on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. We're out of time for today. Thanks for joining us. For Pat Jones and for Oklahoma State University, I'm Robbie Robertson. Goodbye, everybody.